Coming up next, The Drive-In.
The show starts in 1 minute.
One man, one mission, bringing you the hits from the movies we love. Brian Ju in The Drive-In.
Good morning, everyone. This is your go-to guy for the hour, Brian Ju, and you're listening to The Drive-In on TBS EFM. Today is Friday. And I'm going to make things a little mellow because today is the last episode of The Drive-In. Oh, that sounds so sad as I said that just now. It is the last episode, but starting next week, we have our new season that will begin. And I'll still be here, but it'll be a whole new program. And on Monday, there'll be a special documentary in this time slot. So officially, Tuesday is the start of What's Poppin'. And that's going to be a show with a brand new pop feel, entertainment show news, and all that stuff. So you guys have to stick around, be avid listeners of 1013, 1013 FM, TBS EFM. And if you're a driving lover, you gotta love What's Poppin'. It's all me, it's all my style, it's gonna be new. But yes, I have to admit, I'm a little sad to see this program go because, this is the program that started it off for me as a DJ, as a solo DJ. And I had some fun times with the cast and crew. The staff is just amazing here. And, I have an hour left before the show is officially over. So it's sad to say goodbye, but I'm going to have to say goodbye. So I'm going to start off today's show with a request from Bonron. Here's Jeff Buckley with Last Goodbye from the 2001 film Vanilla Sky. Welcome back to The Drive-In. I'm your go-to guy, Brian Ju, with some contact announcements. After the season change, we'll be changing our email address to efmpoppin@gmail.com. And if you send an email to our current address, don't worry because everything will be forwarded to the new address. So you have nothing to freak out about. Also, same thing with our Twitter address. It's going to change to @EFMPoppin. Actually, we already changed it a few days ago. But if everyone who was following us before, you're still following us because we just changed the name on the @EFM Drive-In to @EFMPoppin. So you have nothing to worry about, y'all. So don't freak out. But all you new listeners, like I said, please email efmpoppin@gmail.com and follow @EFMPoppin. And now it's time for the scene of the day. Now, it's kind of sad because I'm going to say this. It is the very, very last scene of the day here at the Drive-In. And I'm even more sad because I know what movie I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm going to have a hard time naming these names because I don't watch these films. And I knew this is revenge for doing the Lord of the Rings stuff in the past. So Eugene, our writer, I knew he couldn't resist. And he had to do Star Wars one last time. And I know we played two scenes from The Empire Strikes Back. One from Return of the Jedi. And unfortunately, one from the awful Star Wars Holiday Special. Like, why did they do that? But it is surprising that we have never played a scene from the first Star Wars film released in 1977 that started the whole franchise. And in the scene, Han Solo is leaving the cantina in Mos Eisley, but he runs into a bounty hunter named Greedo, who has been hired by Jabba the Hutt to collect the debt that Solo owes. Bear with us because Greedo speaks in Huttese. I hope I'm saying that right. Huttese in this scene, I guess Greedo's language. But it is a great scene. And I'm sure all you Star Wars fans, I almost said Star Trek. All you Star Wars fans out there already saw this movie a few times. I haven't. So check it out. Bear with me because I'm going to be having to be very patient to listen through this whole audio track. Check it out.
Una tuta solo? Yes, Greedo. As a matter of fact, I was just going to see your boss. Tell Jabba that I've got his money. Song Bitale. Marakam titach makichita. Jabba wa ninchikoch babushani kaitani wanyaruska. Askinawi uchuzu. Yeah, but this time I've got the money. I don't have it with me. Tell Jabba. Oguruje pujania urwan spatika, kushunku ponovat tripi.
Even I get bored it sometimes. Do you think I had a choice?
Jaba, pupa, kupakni atapampa.
For my dead body.
Uchle yuma. Chespo kututa trista trenko. Ya Oscar.
Bet you have. Sorry about the mess.
All right, seriously, what is going on in this scene? All that mumbo jumping. Yeah, the other day I saw him walking down the street. No, but he's a good friend of mine. Who does that? That is so weird. One dude speaking computeristic weird languages and the other one's responding English. So, for you guys who don't understand, who did not see this movie, I'm going to explain what's going on here. So Greedo said to Jabba that we'll take Han's ship if he does not pay. So then Hans replies, over my dead body. Then Greedo says he's been looking forward to killing Solo for a long time. Then Han then blows him away from before Greedo gets a chance to shoot him. And actually in the scene, it was a very controversial scene because when Lucas made the special editions of the original Star Trek trilogy, he used computer graphics to make it look like Greedo got a shot off before Hans did. Alright, so it was because Lucas thought that Han shouldn't be a cold-blooded killer and he would never shoot unless he was shot at first. And this is, one of the many changes that Star Wars fans did not like and started the Han shot first controversy. And people made t-shirts that said Han shot first. And if they didn't like Lucas's changes, if they didn't like it, they would wear that shirt. And they would also wear Greedo shot first t-shirts. I don't know. This whole controversial thing about these t-shirts. Come on, guys. It's a movie. Get on with it. Anyways, Lucas himself thought that this was funny and once was photographed wearing a Han shot first shirt, even though he is the one who made the changes. Yes, it is goofy, but come on, it's a movie, guys. Anyways, that was the last scene of the day for you guys here at the drive-in. Now we're going to play a song that wasn't actually featured in this film, but it is a disco version of the Star Wars film by the disco funk band Mecco. Check it out, y'all. Yeah, that was the disco funk band Mecco with their disco version of the Star Wars film theme track. Now coming up on today's show, it's Friday, so that means Eugene will be joining me in the studio for the last top 5 for the second segment. So Eugene will talk about all the movies that's out in theaters now, and then for Now Playing Friday. Also, he'll be updating us on what's in store for the new season as well. So if you guys want to find out, please stick around after intermission. Don't change that dial. And now the next song and the final song request at this very moment is actually by my one of my managers. He wanted to hear a song, so he requested this. He actually called in, and it's from the 1994 film Léon, which is a French film starring Jean Reno, Natalie Portman, Gary Oldman, and Danny Aiello. Yes, and even though this is a French film, it was made in English language. This was Natalie Portman's debut film, and she was only 12 years old at the time, and she plays a girl whose family is murdered and kidnapped. The song is Shape of My Heart by Sting. That was Sting with Shape of My Heart, yes, from the Léon soundtrack. It's a great song. I love that song. Sting, a great singer. Anyways, right now, the last song of the hour is going to be from a Korean drama called 최고의 사랑. And it starred a lot of, K-pop actors. I did a cameo in it. So I've literally in it for 1 minute, and I had no lines. So if you guys are curious about the scene, go check it out. I think I was in episode 3 or 5. Not too sure. But the song we're going to play for you guys right now is sung by my homegirl, Gina. And this is called 내 사랑이라서. And this is by my girl, Gina, I said, from the Korean drama, 최고의 사랑.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
It's intermission time. Stick around because we'll be right back.
To get ourselves a treat.
Welcome back to the drive-in. Right now we have Mr. Eugene in the studio. What's going on, Eugene?
What's poppin', Brian?
Well, basically, that's I guess, a taste of what next week's going to be like.
I suppose so. I was thinking, though, before we get into the top 5 today, that it would be good to say what's going to happen on the show next week.
That's a great idea.
All right. So, first of all, what's poppin'? You made that title, actually. Why don't you explain why you chose that title?
I just wanted something that sounded very me. And I know we came up with a lot of titles. Eugene, our new producer, and I, we brainstormed.
Well, sometimes it's the same thing, I suppose.
I mean, we were brainstorming one time. We're in a little chat room, and they're coming up with cool ideas. And I was in a meeting, and I remember reading these names. I was like, all right, a few of them are cool.
Yeah, the worst one, though, I chose was 아침밥, which was, it means breakfast in Korean.
Get it? Achimpap. Achi means morning breakfast.
That was pretty bad.
Yes. But we were having a meeting in person one day, and we're deciding what we should choose. And I was like, I just want to be like, hey, what's poppin', y'all? And then the word pop is in that, and I was like, that's a cool idea. Like, what's poppin'? So when we have guests come in, they're like, hey, what's poppin'? Or we have a new guest popping into the studio. So it all interacts in a way.
Yeah, it's all connected.
Music, popularity, things that are popular in the world. And all three of us are like, that's actually really simple and cool. Let's go with it.
I think producer liked it. When you said that, I was like, wow, why didn't I think of that? Because there are other shows that I had a key in naming. I mean, the drive-in also, I don't know if I necessarily picked that name, but it was one of the ones on my list.
I thought it was a very creative name because of the vibe of the show and the theme.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And, I am a little bit sad to see it go because I feel like we've actually, established a pretty good show here, but,
we did.
Things change a lot, so.
And I've learned a lot. You've learned a lot. We've all learned a lot about movies.
Yes.
And our listeners were very, supportive of what we did.
Right.
But now we're hoping that our listeners will continue to support us when we do What's Poppin'. And, just give us your advice on what we should do, what you want to hear.
Exactly. And also, most of the family is going to still be back, so that's a good thing. So it's not like you're listening to a totally new show. I mean, it is totally new, of course, but I mean, you'll hear the familiar voices that you've been hearing all along. So
exactly.
Really but let's run down. From Monday to Thursday, there is going to be, the first half of the show, we'll pick a word of the day.
Okay.
Or we'll call it Word Up, right? And that word of the day, maybe it'll be like a slang word or some other kind of English word, and we'll explain what it means in many different situations where you could use it, and maybe in many different ways. And then I guess we're going to pick songs that are related to that theme. And if possible, if that word comes up in the song. So, for example, if the word is fly, then you might play,
a Fly to the Skies track.
You could do that. Or the Offspring, I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
Yes,
or
you are Eugene. Or half white guy.
Okay, I'm half fly then. And also, Sugar Ray, I would want to fly, maybe. But it's a different way of using the word fly.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, also, then in the second half, I believe there's a section called Paparazzi. And that one, we're going to be learning all about the celebrity news. It's not going to be a very long segment, but it'll be hosted by you alone.
I'll be hosting it, and the idea I came up with is we don't want to do the typical boring news like, oh, so-and-so had a coffee. No. We want to go behind the scenes like the TMZ brothers be doing.
Oh, of course, yes.
We're going to do raw and raunchy news. Like, no, on this, you wrote outside of Korea.
Yeah.
But I think maybe later on in the show, maybe a month down the line, we might even add some Korean news.
Oh, no, actually I wrote here both inside and outside
of
Korea.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be both.
I didn't see the end. All right, that is inside and outside of Korea. So if you hear something like, UIN is dating some other girl, boom, 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 we're going to talk about it on the show.
Of course.
Exactly.
And of course, Brian is also very connected with the celebrity groups. So maybe if something is kind of undercover, he might reveal it if it
I
is
might
possible.
reveal it, but if it's my news, I'm not going to say a word.
Yeah. Okay, of course not. You got to keep that a surprise for everyone. And then, we said that the Mondays and Wednesdays are going to be the live shows. And then Tuesday and Thursday, we actually have segments. So Tuesday, Mike Jones will come in. Well, he'll actually come on Monday, but the show will be on Tuesday, where he does Pop and Review, which I guess you talked about that this Monday, what he's going to be doing there.
Yep.
But basically reviewing an old music track, album, and telling you what he liked about it, what he didn't like about it, what the group is like now, what they're doing now, that kind of stuff.
True.
And then on
Sounds
Thursday,
good.
I will be here for what we're calling Poppin' News. And this is not just normal news, and it's not necessarily celebrity news, but it's, weird news. Like, there's so much stuff that you can find that you can't really believe that that's an actual story that actually happened. But it's just so strange. So, like, for example, I read one a while ago where it's a guy, he made a motorcycle out of a toilet so that he could drive across the country without having to get up.
That's kind of disgusting.
It's kind of weird, though. You gotta
But
admit.
that's the kind of news that people want to hear. Like, oh, that's unique. And then when they're done listening to our program, they can actually go on the computers and search it on the web.
Absolutely. And they can see if it was real or not. Of course, I will try to make it as real as possible for my segment. And then on the live shows on, I guess, Monday and Wednesday, in the second half, that's your time to put in your requests. And we will probably play them at that time. If you can match the theme, that would be great. If you can't, that's all right. We'll still probably try to play your song. Finally, on Friday, like you mentioned yesterday, I guess when Olivia was in here and she was crying and everything.
She was crying her eyes out.
Yes, she was. This will be the time where the guests come in, the open studio, which we are calling the pop-in, right? Because they're popping into the studio.
Creative.
Kind of creative. And yeah, you will have lots of interviews with guests. Maybe you could be singing. Just all heck will break loose in the open studio. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Okay.
With that said.
Sounds good.
Yeah. It does sound good, and I'm looking very, very much forward to it.
I'm anticipating a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's going to start on Tuesday because
Tuesday.
Next Monday we have the
documentary.
I think the documentary is about one of the fortresses in Seoul, so it should be pretty interesting. But with that said, let's go on to the top 5.
Let's do this.
Okay, the thing about the top 5 this week is I didn't want to just do a regular top 5 thing. I'm doing the top 5 movies for the duration of the time that we've been on the air.
Okay, that sounds
so it's like over
fun.
the past 6 months, basically.
Cool,
so
cool.
shall we go start with number 5?
5.
Number 5 is Les Miserables, or Les Miserables, or however you want to pronounce it. Or in Korean, Les Miserables.
Yes.
Yes, the miserable people. This has 43 million admissions. And it's in the top 5, so it's pretty good. What is not to like here? You've got Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway, Sacha Baron Cohen, Helena Bonham Carter. Great story, great songs.
Great music.
This was such a good movie. And this is the only foreign movie in the top 5, actually, which is a little bit surprising. But The Hobbit, which is the next...
But we are doing the movies that are popular in Korea. So,
of course. The Hobbit was the next closest one that had 20 million fewer admissions, actually.
Oh.
So...
That's still a lot of admissions.
Yeah, which means that Les Miserables was, very, very popular.
He crushed it, yes.
Yes, exactly. All right, so let's go on to number 4.
4.
This is called Werewolf Boy, and it had 46.6 million admissions, just slightly above Les Miserables.
Okay.
And this is the one about the girl in the 1960s who meets a teenage boy who actually turns out to be a werewolf. And
creepy!
She falls in love with him, which is even more creepy. And then the people in the town, they don't like the werewolf, and they're starting to chase him off. And she tries to fight against the society and say, like, just because he's different doesn't mean you have to hate him. And then I guess when she becomes older, she goes back to the hometown and reminisces about him. And this came out during Halloween, so I can see why a lot of people liked it.
Okay.
Shall we go on to number 3? Number 3 is Berlin. And I was very, very, very surprised that this was in the top 5 because we just started talking about it recently.
Exactly.
It has 52 million admissions, which means it's a pretty good movie because it beat Les Miserables and Werewolf Boy that have been out much longer, right? So this one is about the NIS agent who is in a stakeout in the Grand Westin Hotel in Berlin, Germany, and they watch as an illegal weapons deal is about to take place between a Middle Eastern buyer and a North Korean seller, and there's a Russian broker. So I guess the NIS team has to break up the deal and maybe save the day for the democracy and everything like that. So, one of those spy movies, the, I guess, Korean version of James Bond or Mission Impossible, perhaps.
Okay.
Seems very, very interesting. Have you seen that one?
Did not see it.
Haven't seen it. Okay, my wife did see this and she said it was pretty good, but not as good as the next film at number 2.
222.
And actually, I'm very surprised by this because I thought
That's
it was
a lot of
going to be
admissions, man.
number 1. This is Masquerade, also known as 광해 왕이 된 남자, with 79.3
I would
million
have thought this
admissions.
would be 1, too.
I would have thought so too, especially because this won 15 awards at the Grand Bell Awards and was even nominated for more than that, I think over 20 or something.
Holy.
So I was just very surprised because this was the film of the year last year. It was in the theaters for such a long time. It was on the top 5 list, I think 6 or 7 weeks in a row at number 1, and then it was on like for 10 even top 5. So I'm surprised that there's another movie that has gotten more admissions than this.
The reason why is because I kind of know what the movie's going to be for number 1.
Oh, you do? All right, let's go to number 1. What is it?
Number 1 is going to be 7번 방의 선물 or
Absolutely.
Miracle in Cell number 7.
You are correct. That is number 1, and it has 87.5 million admissions.
I personally don't want those kind of missions. I want that money.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe there's like
That'd
a
be
lot
nice.
of free tickets or something.
Exactly.
But still, 87.5 million, that's more than 7 million than Masquerade, which is surprising. This one is the one about the man who's mentally handicapped, but he has a daughter that he loves very much, and he's falsely accused of a crime, but later she grows up to become a lawyer and wants to spring him out of jail using her law practice techniques. And this seems like it would be a great movie. I am so surprised that this beat out Masquerade, but, you know, it's been out, it's been in our top 5 list week after week after week, so it had to be one of those two.
Alrighty. Well, I'm definitely gonna watch Miracle in Cell Number 7. That sounds like a great film.
Me too.
But earlier we talked about Les Mis, so we gotta play a song for you guys right now, and then right afterwards you're gonna go into Now Playing Fridays.
Yes.
So this is a great song by a great, great actress, and from this movie we found out she's a great singer as well.
Yes, we did.
This is Anne Hathaway with I Dreamed a
There
Dream.
was a time when men were kind. I dreamed.
Oh my god.
Oh, that makes me cry. It's such a good song.
And this is the last time we're gonna hear this song on the drive-in.
But maybe we can hear it on What's Poppin', perhaps.
We could.
But I don't think people are going to request that. They'd want more pop.
I want her to sing I Dreamed a Dream with my own lyrics.
You should do that.
Right now, I was going to be like, I love you, Gene. Because Gene sounds like dream.
Oh, I love you too, Brian.
I don't really love
I
you.
want to say that, what?
I don't really like physically love you. Like, oh my gosh, she's attractive and I want to date you. No, it's kind of weird.
Okay.
Yes, but
Well, I
you
love
know,
you, Brian, and I like your
we
pants.
love-
Your
we
pants
love
are
each-
very tight right now. I really like them. I'm just kidding. I'm just
So
kidding.
today I'm wearing, pants are, out of the ordinary. Where
Okay.
they're a little bit more fitted. And they're workout pants. CrossFit workout pants. And I went to the bathroom earlier. And I was walking by the booth area, and the producer of the show was checking my booty out.
Ooh, all right. Well, for the record, I cannot see Brian's pants because he's sitting in a table, and I'm not next to him right now. So
Yeah, you don't want to see my booty because my booty makes girl go, oh,
Okay.
oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's. I don't know how to come back to that. That's great. You know, I'm really starting to feel sad now. This is the same feeling.
Why?
The same feeling that I got when I was in the very last episode of Drive Time.
But guess what?
Yeah.
When the last episode of Drive Time was around, you changed the whole thing. The MCs, the producers,
That is
everything.
true.
We're
but
still together.
We are still together, and I'm very
We're
happy
guests.
that we're still together. But I just
Don't be sad.
It's just the show is. I've grown to love this show, and it's kind of sad.
That is true. But you know what they say? For
Yeah.
every door that closes, there's going to be a brand new and better opportunity for
I
us.
hope so.
Opening.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
We're going to do what's popping, and then people are going to be sending in donations. Be like, hey, Eugene, we're going to give you cash. I don't know why, but
Well,
that
because
might
I
happen.
would donate it to charity, like the Mac Foundation, which we talked about previously on here.
Okay. We got to go to Now Playing Fridays, though, right now.
We do have to go to Now Playing Friday, and this is a movie I actually saw yesterday. Have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz?
That's playing right now in Korea?
No, it's not. But have you seen The Wizard of Oz?
Of course.
Of course. Okay, that was in 1939, and this movie that I saw yesterday is actually a prequel to The Wizard of Oz called Oz the Great and Powerful.
That's out in Korea?
It is out in Korea.
Is it an English movie?
Of course it is, and it has stars James Franco as the Wizard of Oz, and it has Mila Kunis, who plays Theodora, who later becomes a very well-known character.
Didn't this movie come out a few years ago in America?
No, it came out in March 8th in America also.
So last year?
March 8th, 2013.
Oh, this year. I'm like, it felt like it was like February still to me. Okay.
Okay, and there's also Michelle Williams and Rachel Weisz in this one, and they also play prominent characters that do come back in the Wizard of Oz film. I cannot say who they are because I don't want to spoil the surprise for you, because they don't reveal who they are in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
So is it like another version of the musical Wicked?
Well, see, Wicked, that was about the wizard being like a ruthless dictator, and then the witches were good people trying to
Basically,
overthrow her.
Yeah,
right?
to make long story short, it's about the evil witch and her side of the story, and she's not really evil.
Right, I think that was more of a reimagining of the whole thing. And I think, was Dorothy actually in Wicked? I haven't seen much of it. So.
She is in it, very short, like a little bit, not that much.
Okay. Well, in this one, Dorothy has not arrived in Oz yet, actually. And the Wizard of Oz, he actually arrives first, and he was a magician in a carnival, basically, and he got swept up in his balloon, and the tornado hit, and he's arrived in Oz as a young man.
Okay.
And, everybody says, this is the wizard that is prophesized to come and help us and deliver us from the evil, wicked witches, right? But he is just a magician in a carnival, which means he's not even really a wizard.
Because he's just a human being.
Yeah, he's just a human being. They just do stuff with, mirrors and lines and ropes and stuff and gunpowder. So he doesn't have any real magic. But he somehow has to defeat the evil, wicked witches. And, the people don't really believe in him at first, but then much later, it gets pretty good. But one thing I wanted to talk about in this is there were a lot of critics that said James Franco did not play this role very well as the Wizard of Oz. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I mean, originally they wanted to go with Robert Downey Jr., which would have been an amazing cast for the Wizard of Oz. And you can tell that the way they dress James Franco up, that they were trying to make him look like Robert Downey Jr. almost, with like the Iron Man beard and everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's what they really were going for. And the director, Sam Raimi, wanted to use Robert Downey Jr., but he was unavailable because he was doing other stuff. So he's like, I did Spider-Man with James Franco, so why don't I use James Franco? I don't want to
talk down about the director or anything, but I feel like Tim Burton would have done a great film for this.
It's funny that you mentioned that because actually the person who did the music is Danny Elfman, who always works with Tim Burton. So I don't know where that went. And if it had been with Tim Burton, you can guarantee that the wizard would have been Johnny Depp. Okay. Probably. I mean, which would have been a really great casting, I think.
We're actually short on time right now, so can you just wrap up and just give us a quick, I guess...
Oh, you're kicking me out already?
No, I can't. The producer wants to kick us out.
I understand.
So just let us know, the key points of this movie as soon as possible, fast.
Okay, it's a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, and it's really good, and you should see it. A few of the actors are miscast, but really it was a very enjoyable experience.
And did you think James Franco did well?
I think he did fine.
Okay.
And
that's what's most important.
I am really sad that this is the last scene of last Now Playing Friday that we'll ever see.
Stop being sad!
On the drive-in.
Stop it!
But we'll be back next week, and I'll be back with What's Poppin' News on Thursdays, and so I will be happy to see all of you next week.
Alrighty. Before we go, since it is our last drive-in day.
Yes.
Oh, now you're making me sad. I had to say the word last. Is there anything that you want to say to all the listeners who supported us for the last 6 months?
Absolutely. I want to thank all the listeners that have been supporting us, especially all of Brian's fans. I also want to thank Christina Sewell, who was here doing Romantic Thursday. And I want to thank Jason for doing K-Film Tuesday. And then the people I want to thank the most, especially our producer. She's been the greatest producer that I've ever had in here.
Aww.
I'm serious. And I will really deeply miss her. And I hope that I will see her again.
So with that said, this is the last drive-in program ever.
Yes.
Hopefully it'll come back maybe in the future. But I had a great time too as well with the producer, the engineers, all the guests. But the great thing is the writer, the DJ me, the new producer, the guests who worked with us in the past, Olivia and Mike, will still be with us for What's Poppin'. So we're saying goodbye to the program, but we're still one family, so you guys have nothing to worry about. I'm actually sad. And this song, I feel like it's going to be a sad song. Is it a sad song?
Yeah, it is kind of a sad song. This is from the movie that we just talked about. It's Mariah Carey with Almost Home.
This is Almost Home. And you want to say goodbye and peace together? Or what do we do?
We could do that.
All right, y'all. This is Brian and
Eugene.
And we want to thank you guys for supporting the drive-in for as long as you have.
Yes, absolutely. And we want to thank all of the listeners out there that will continue to listen when we do the What's Poppin' show.
Alrighty. So we see you guys for the first time on Tuesday of next week.
Yes, absolutely. So this is Eugene and Brian signing off. Peace.